People say time heals every wound, but some hearts never stop missing the people they love. My name is Aasiyah. The day I received my admission into medical school, the first person I wanted to tell wasn't alive to hear it. So I came here, to the only place that still made me feel close to him. Standing beside my father's grave, holding the letter he had prayed so hard for, I wished, just for one moment, that he could see me. As I stood there, memories I had buried deep inside my heart came rushing back. Everything began. Many years earlier, whenever I close my eyes, I always find my way back to that afternoon. Our little family compound in Elorin, where every corner carried peace, and every moment with my father became a treasure I would one day hold on to. He never measured success by wealth or status. To him, the greatest gift he could leave me was faith. That afternoon, I sat beside him with my little Quran, completely unaware that Allah was preparing me for a future I could never have imagined. There was something my father never allowed to pass without making dua for me. After every lesson, he would gently place his hand on my head, close his eyes, and ask Allah to guide my every step. He would say, "O Allah, make my daughter among the righteous. Protect her faith, increase her in beneficial knowledge, and let her be a source of goodness wherever she goes." As a little girl, I didn't fully understand the depth of those words. To me, it was simply my father talking to Allah about me. But today, when I look back, I realize those du'as were among the greatest gifts he ever gave me. Long after his voice became a memory, I would continue living under the shade of those prayers. Looking back now, I realize my father wasn't only teaching me how to recite the Quran, he was teaching me how to live. Every lesson he gave me carried wisdom, even though I was too young to understand it then. He taught me that true success wasn't measured by wealth or by people's praise. True success was meeting Allah with a heart that remained faithful. I listened carefully, never imagining that one day those very lessons would become my greatest source of strength. If I had known those afternoons would end so soon, I would have treasured every single second even more. Years passed, and before I knew it, the little girl sitting beside her father had become a young woman with a dream. The day I stepped into the College of Medicine, my heart was filled with gratitude. Every building I walked past, every lecture hall I entered, reminded me that Allah had answered a prayer my father made countless times. I carried more than books in my hands. I carried my father's hopes, my family's sacrifices, and a promise I had made many years ago beneath the shade of a tree. I knew the journey ahead wouldn't be easy, but I also knew that with Allah by my side, no challenge was greater than His mercy. Little did I know that the university wasn't just where I would study medicine. It was where Allah had already written the beginning of a story that would change my life forever. Medical school was nothing like I had imagined. Every single day brought new lectures, endless textbooks, practical sessions, and sleepless nights. There were moments when my body wanted to give up. But every time I remembered my father's words, I found the strength to keep going. I wasn't studying medicine just to earn a degree. I wanted to become someone who could ease people's pain and make my father proud, even if he could only watch from the next life. Slowly, my lecturers began to notice my dedication. Some of my classmates started asking for my notes, while others came to me whenever they found a topic difficult. I didn't have all the answers, but I always believe that knowledge becomes more valuable when it is shared with others. Without realizing it, Allah was preparing me for people and moments that would soon change my life forever. It happened on an ordinary afternoon. I had just finished one of my lectures and was hurrying to the next class, with my hands full of anatomy textbooks. In my haste, I wasn't paying attention. Before I realized what had happened, my book slipped from my hands and scattered across the corridor. I felt so embarrassed. As I bent down to pick them up, someone quietly stepped forward to help. It was a fellow medical student I had seen around campus, but had never spoken to before. He didn't try to start a conversation. He simply helped me gather my books with respect and humility. I thanked him sincerely, and he nodded politely before continuing on his way. I didn't even know his name, but that brief encounter left a quiet impression on my heart, not because of who he was, but because good character has a way of speaking louder than words. Days slowly turned into weeks. Soft sigh. Before I knew it, medical school no longer felt as frightening as it did on my first day. My classmates had started coming to me whenever they found a topic difficult. At first, I thought it was only once in a while. Short pause. But it soon became part of my daily routine. After lectures, we'd sit together, open our notebooks, and revise. I'd explain whatever Allāh had made easy for me to understand, and seeing the smiles on their faces always warmed my heart. Knowledge is an amana. If Allah blesses you with it, you shouldn't hide it. Gentle pause. I wasn't trying to be the best student. I was only trying to be worthy of the opportunity Allah had given me. Soft exhale. And then, every now and then, I'd notice him, the same young man who had quietly helped me pick up my books in the corridor. I still didn't know his name, but there was something about his character that stayed with me. He was always respectful, never loud, never trying to draw attention to himself. Brief silence. Whenever our paths crossed, he'd simply lower his gaze and continue on his way. That alone earned my respect. Pause. What I didn't know was that while I admired his manners from afar, he had also begun to notice my dedication to my studies. From the back of the lecture hall, from the classroom doorway, and from those moments when my classmates gathered around me after lectures. Soft pause. Neither of us knew it then, but Allah was already writing a story that neither of us could see. A few days later, one of our lecturers walked into the classroom with a smile that usually meant trouble. He asked a question based on the topic we had just finished. I was confident, perhaps a little too confident, so I raised my hand. The moment I answered, I knew I had gotten it wrong. A few quiet chuckles echoed through the class. I lowered my head, wishing the ground would open and swallow me. Then, the lecturer called on another student. It was him. With remarkable calmness, he explained the concept so clearly that even I understood where I had made my mistake. There was no pride in his voice, only sincerity. For the first time, I truly wanted to speak to him, not because he had corrected me, but because I wanted to learn from someone whose knowledge was matched by his humility. When the lecture ended, I gathered my books and quietly walked toward him. Just as I was about to say my first words, his phone rang. I watched the color drain from his face as he answered the call. Adnan, your mother has collapsed. Come home immediately." Everything around us seemed to fall silent. He rushed out of the classroom without saying a word. I stood there, watching him disappear into the distance. That was supposed to be our first conversation, but Allah had written a different ending for that day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for spending these moments with me. Sometimes, the stories Allah writes for us begin with questions rather than answers. I hope you'll join me again as my journey continues. Until then, may Allah keep your heart firm upon His guidance. I'll see you in episode 2, inshaAllah.